Well, let's take a look at what's going to happen tomorrow night, because it'll be very interesting. President Trump, I've known him 35 years. He doesn't deliver bad news like this. So you can expect a positive speech tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Okay, he's not going to go in and say, hey, we screwed up. It isn't working out. We're not getting what we want. That's not happening. So the president will put a positive face on the situation. He'll run down his greatest hits, like he always does. You've heard it before, but he'll reiterate. And then he'll pivot. I'm not sure what the Iranians have agreed to, but they've agreed to something. So he's not going to go on and say, hey, I don't have anything. Thanks for watching, and now back to different strokes. He's not going to do that. So the Iranians agreed to something. But it'll probably leak out tomorrow, I'd say around mid-afternoon, what that something is. Now, as far as NATO is concerned, that alliance is shattered. It's like Humpty Dumpty. Nobody's going to put it back together again. It's over. The president expected some support, and NATO let him down, particularly Spain. If it were me, I'd try to get Spain out of NATO because they denied landing rights to U.S. air power. And they have no reason to do that, Spain. But they did it out of spite because it's a socialist country. And they don't pay their dues like everybody else does for NATO. Why do we need Spain?
Yeah.
Why?
Bill, actually on that question, on that issue, I want to follow up on that on a different topic but related, because we're seeing this play out in real time where our NATO allies are not allowing us to use our bases or their bases when we need them in a crisis. The president has made the case that this is why the United States should be in charge of Greenland. And then the NATO partners have come in and said, no, we reassure you that you'll be allowed to use bases in Greenland whenever you need to, should there be a defensive cause against Russia and China in the Arctic. Does that fall apart now as a result of what we're seeing in the Middle East?
I don't expect to hear any of that.
Not tomorrow, but I mean generally, more broadly, not just tomorrow night.
I think the Greenland thing has receded because it just didn't make any sense. We can use Denmark's territory.
Can we?
Denmark's not going to object to it.
We'll see.
Yeah, they're not going to object to it. They're dependent on us for their defense. And NATO is a very interesting animal because none of these countries coordinate with one another. They don't like each other. The Germans don't like the French don't like the Belgians. You know, it's on and on and on and on. I mean, it's not like this is one block. And they all don't like President Trump.
Well, last time you said the Germans were the worst.
Prime Minister,
so
they are the worst because we are dependent upon them because they're so close to Putin. And they don't care. Look, when you have a threat that could blow up Europe, and I know people don't want to believe it. I wrote a message of the day. It'll be on BillO'Reilly.com tomorrow morning. People believe what they want to believe, Katie. And they don't want to believe that Iran is capable of launching a nuke. They don't want to believe it. And they do want to believe that Trump's the devil. So that's what they do. There's no rationality here, but just in a cautious realm. Why wouldn't you back the USA in this? We're doing all the heavy lifting along with Israel. You're not doing anything.
And we're winning.
Why wouldn't you back us?
Right.
Because the more you back us, the quicker it's over. And the quicker the gas prices come down, which I think the president will emphasize tomorrow, because his problem is the U.S. voter.
Yeah.
And the U.S. voter, you know, look, it's a 50-50 split, I think, among people who hate Trump and among people who like him. And the midterms loom. So I think that he's going to wrap that bow up. But he has to do it before he goes to China. Remember, he's supposed to visit Beijing in the middle of April. And the Chinese are big in this. You don't hear from them. But they're big in this whole thing because they need that oil coming through Hormuz. China gets 80% of its oil from the Gulf, and they can't have it closed down. And that's a big factor.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.